hope to do kind of the whole story and take in all of the dozen interviews that we've done and try to put it all together. But I was speaking with my wife and I was trying to tell her one pilot story that we had interviewed, and it took me an hour. So I said, well, no, that's not going to happen. We're not going to be able to do this in 45 minutes or 50 minutes, however long we have. So we decided what we were going to do is take each individual interview or interviews that fit in within a particular part of the war. And as we said, we want to tell the whole story from, before the war, through their time here in Jackson, the war in Europe and in the Pacific, and those Dutchmen who fought in both areas. And then afterwards, and particularly in Indonesia and the Indonesian Revolution and life in Holland. And then a lot of those pilots, including Jan Helfrich, came back to Mississippi to train other pilots under the Military Defense Assistance Pact in Columbus Air Force Base and Greenville Air Force Base and several others throughout this country. So we want to tell that whole story. We have interviews that illustrate parts of that story in more detail than others. And so what we had hoped to do is put those together or fill in those interviews and give several different talks based on those interviews and based on those different parts of the story. And as I said to Amanda, that'll ultimately give us chapters for a book right there. So this is obviously just the starting point and the rose piece, but there will be hopefully a full-length documentary about an hour long next year.
And there are two other additional interviews that we filmed that weren't in this piece. So one of them was with a Dutch pilot in Florida, and the other was with a Dutch widow who visited Jackson from Holland a few weeks ago. So.
Now, is going to be the interview from Traveris also in that book? Because that is one, that's an absolute unbelievable.
Yeah, I gave him a copy of it.
Right. That's really unbelievable.
We're very excited about it. It's a big job, and it's gotten bigger and bigger. But I'm very happy to be working on it. I'm very happy to have Amanda working on it with me. Just to give you a little background, this all started when my supervisor came to me and asked me if we had enough material within the archives to do a presentation on the Dutch pilots. And originally I was going to tell her, no, we don't, because we have a few photographs and we have lots of books, but they're all in Dutch, and I don't read Dutch. And very few, nobody that works in the archives currently knows Dutch, although we have made some contacts with people who can get the translation for us. But in one of the subject files, which is just a collection of loose documents, newspaper articles, that kind of thing, I saw Amanda's paper from her college thesis that was on the Dutch pilots, where she had interviewed Marjorie and one of the pilots. Did you know? It was just Marjorie. Okay. And I said, well, there's our story. These people that are still here with us and that can still tell us about the story. And given the photographs that we do have, and given these interviews, we can really make this a big deal. And it just, I asked Amanda if she'd like to join me, and she very graciously accepted, and it's just ballooned from there. So it's not a big deal.
Do we have a copy also of Pete Bucker, who died last year?
We have a transcription of all history of it. As far as video, we don't have it.